There are over 600 skins in Brawl Stars, and today we'll rank every single skin in the game from worst to best. Just remember, all of these rankings are my opinions. I might put a skin with objectively worse effects higher than another just due to personal preference and bias. This is a skin ranking, not a meta ranking. Now let's start with the rares. Every single one of these soccer and football skins. There are 13 in total, and we're introduced to celebrate the Masters League season or something. They're weird and lame, and I don't like soccer. Okay, now moving on to the real skins. Willow is definitely the worst skin in Brawl Stars. Willow's base model is miles better than this. Aesthetically speaking, this just is not a well-designed skin and barely conveys the idea of the skin as an axolotl. GT Max takes a close 49th place. She's definitely a lot more solid than Willow, but what makes her so bad is its lack of diversity. It's just Max, but with slightly different colors that make her look incredibly worse. It's super basic and not worth it at all. Similar to GT Max, Constructor Jackie is way too boring to be worth her bling. The color palette is better, but it's nothing crazy. It's not creative, nor is it interesting. Kaiju Buzz may be a controversial take. Generally speaking, he could be placed in the late 20s to 30s, but what makes him so awful is the Kaiju name. If you didn't know, the Kaiju robot was the boss in Super City Rampage and was the worst mode ever made by far. This skin gives me PTSD, so it places here. Pink Piper is literally just Piper, but Princess Peachified. I like Pink, but this is just lazy. Colt has many skins, but Outlaw feels like a downgraded version of base Colt. He's got a boring outfit, a dull color palette, and overall just doesn't feel any better. Elf Angelo. I did not think it could get worse than base Angelo. Already, he looks like a complete mess and a scatter of elements, but Elf Angelo just takes that and slaps on a worse coat of paint. I'm not a fan in the slightest. Mean Girl Ems was actually remodeled from College Ems, which definitely bumped her up a few spots. Her model is fun with the horns, but I don't get the mean girl persona it's trying to convey. Foot Bonnie is not bad. If you like soccer, then this is a pretty solid skin, but if you don't, then it's not good. Classic Shelly. If it's all you have, then that's fine, but definitely not as good as literally any other Shelly skin. Bandita Shelly is just a classic skin. Her design is incredibly solid, but since she's free for everyone on their first day, it kinda tampers with its cool factor. I can't see myself putting this below the 40s. Panda Nita. Bruce as a panda is cool, but it's really just nothing special. He just turns into a panda. Rockstar Colt. I love the Elvis Presley reference, but just like Outlaw Colt, it's not great. We're now moving on to skins that might be worth your gems or bling if you really like the brawler, like MC Mandy. This is definitely an improvement from her base model, but it's just meh. The colors are a bit odd and it's just a big whatever skin. Blackbird Edgar is a serious improvement to his base model. His color scheme is a bit different and fun, but something about him feels kind of freaky. I get it's a Nightwing reference or whatever, but I'm not a big fan. Warrior Bo has a really cool design. He's all tatted up, he has vibrant colors, but he still feels too similar to base Bo for me. Vintage Pearl could have been Pearl's base skin and I would not even care. I think the colors are fun and vibrant and it makes her feel fresh and out of the oven. Solid rare skin in my opinion. Patrol RT is an op. Superstar Stu. This skin really isn't too different from base Stu. He gets some America colors, but nothing really stands out with him. The only thing that he really has going for him is how he matches to his theme pretty well. Agent P. For some reason, people really love Agent P, but I don't see it. Sure, he has some custom porters, but it's incredibly basic. It's a slight improvement to his model, but that's all. Sif Melody. As of writing this skin has not been released yet, but it looks pretty solid. Usually when skins make brawlers blonde, they look pretty terrible, but I think Sif Melody looks alright. I get like these RPG medieval vibes from it. Runaway Gray. This is one of the few skins on this list that really excels at what they're trying to achieve. He's clearly a prisoner, and since he moves with portals, he's a runaway. It's not my favorite looking skin, but its concept is pretty great. Now we're moving on to these skins which are definitely worth your bling or gems. If you want a rare skin, then these are the ones you should grab. Amazing Charlie. This is a good skin. She has a really standout design, it's unique, and I love Iron Man, so this is a great skin. Squeaky Notes. I might be a bit biased because this is a relatively new skin, but I really love this skin. It makes Squeak look so goofy. He's just a little blob. I love it. Inferno Chuck looks so cool. He's super menacing, and that's exactly what he needs. But I think his Ghostly Pale skin is a little bit odd. Retro Nani is probably my least favorite skin in the game, but after consulting others, they said it was a really good skin, which I don't really see, but I'll put it like right in the middle. It has a unique peep, but I cannot stand this little shit. Mass Spike is the definition of good value for the price. You get essentially 8 bad skins in one, which makes it pretty okay. In game, game, he looks normal though, so it's kind of whatever. Poison Cap Cordelius. This is like the budget Spore Mine Cordelius. He gets a really cool model, but I think the purple suits him way better. If this skin got the same effects as El Atomico, I think he would be at the top of the list. Draco Doug. I think this skin makes Doug feel a whole lot more menacing. He's got wings, eyes, and he's purple. What more could you want? Tech Maisie. I really like Tech Maisie. Her colors beautifully work together. It really screams tech and danger. Sleepy Sandy is not the best. It's essentially just a recolor of Sandy, but he has something that no one else does. Spike Slippers. Supercell, please send me a pair. Shark Tank Hank is kinda like Draco Doug, except way cooler since he's Hank. The drawn on mouth is a really fun touch, and paired with the other beat up marks on his tank, I really like this skin. Billy the Kit just hits different, man. Instead of the bright white of his original fur, the purples and blues are a nice change of pace. Unlike a similar skin like Outlaw Colt, the contrasting yellow really pulls the whole thing together. 8-Bit Classic. As someone who loves early Nintendo systems, 8-Bit Classic is a really cool skin. It's nothing special, but it's a really neat nod. Ladybug Bee is a must-have skin for bee lovers. It really just makes sense that she's a ladybug. I like her cute backpack, her hat, and it's just a good skin. Tropical Sprout. This is just the base Sprout at this point. He's so chill, literally the biggest vibe in the game. Unicorn Bonnie. I love Unicorn Bonnie. It really matches her personality and reminds me of the annoying little girl from Despicable Me. I'm also a sucker for pastel colors. This is a really cool skin. Dark Chester has a really sick design. It's like Blackbird Edgar, but actually really cool. Instead of looking mischievous, he's evil, and what's more there to say? Macaron Miko is so funny. He's this little French dude with a beret and a mustache and a striped shirt and a baguette. He's so stereotypical, and I love it. Larry and Lori Controllers. An unnecessarily long name, but they're super cool. Not only are they Joy-Cons, but you essentially get 2 skins in one. I'm a big fan. I just wish the colors were switched so it matches their personalities a bit better. Golden Barley is my favorite skin to flex on people with. When my friends pull up with a true gold skin, I pull up with my Golden Barley. They never know the difference. Definitely not. He also has a custom attack texture, which is pretty cool. Doll Jessie is a bit scary, but super cute, especially Shocky. Sam the Teddy. Now this skin is pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie, but compared to many other skins on this list, he could be seen as a super rare. It really changes how Sam looks, and despite not having any extra effects, I think this spot is deserving for the sheer difference in his model. Leon the Stray is super solid. He becomes a cat, and cats are cool. It's also just a really pleasing design. Zombrock is a classic skin. It makes him look so cool and a menace on the field. GeForce Janet, definitely one of my favorite skins of all time. For only 29 gems, she gets a super sick fit. Her colors work incredibly well together, and she actually feels like a normal person. It's sick as hell. Boy Scout Gus feels like a completely new brawler. I love how the balloon turns red, and again, he feels so normal, which you almost never see in skins these days. Bubblegum BB. Compared to her base model, this is so different. She has these bright blues and pinks, which look great, but her bat becomes a giant lollipop, and it really revamps everything about her in a fun way, which I love. Goblin Carl. I don't know why I love this skin so much, but he's just so goofy. Bro is literally a goblin. The minecart mouth is a nice touch as well. And finally, number 1, the best rare skin in Brawl Stars in my opinion is Stara. It's pretty much just base Tara, but she has constellations all around her which flash and shine. This is the only rare skin which has these moving animations, so that's why I think it's deserving of the best rare skin. Moving on to the super rares. Caveman Frank. Do I even need to explain myself? Come on, it's lame. They could have done so much more with this. Linebacker Bull and Touchdown Bull come next, which I think are fair to put together. They're kinda neat, but I see them as 29 gem skins instead. Red Wizard Barley and Wizard Barley. Just like the football bulls, they're not special. Mascot Daryl is a skin you get for free, and I hate this skin with all my being. It looks like he got bonked on the head with an anvil, and his head is just permanently squished. PSG Shelly. You used to be able to get this skin for free before Bandita Shelly, and out of all of the Shelly skins, it's pretty boring. I prefer Bandita Shelly, and that's saying something. Old School Brock. I like how it's a reference to the, well, Old School Brock, but they did him so dirty. DJ Frank. This skin is super underwhelming. He gets a fun animation, but his model is too similar to the base model for this to be any good. Hog Rider Carl. Despite how this skin is literally a hog rider, it has nothing more going for it. For 79 gems, it's not worth the price at all. Koala Nita. Koala Nita is fine, but it doesn't add much else than being a koala. It gives Pan need a vibe. Potato Squeak. I never had too much of a problem with Potato Squeak, but he's just gross and kinda nasty. This kinda looks like something Nick DiGiovanni would make on YouTube Shorts. Holiday Pam. The only thing that she has going for her is her immaculate vibe. Beach Time Mortis. Mortis is ready for the beach, but what you see is what you get. It's really nothing special. Beach Brock. Just like Beach Time Mortis and Pam, it's pretty lame. El Rito is an OG skin. He's got a sick design, but I don't see it as anything too worth it. Primo has just way better super rare skins. Road Rage Carl. I think his Goblin Carl skin is way better by a long shot, and that's only a rare skin. Ricochet was given to free for everyone for an anniversary after they remodeled Rico. He looks okay, but not a skin I would go out and wear, you know what I mean? Dino Leon turns Leon into a dinosaur. That's about it. Bunny Penny. Depending on who you choose for your free daily reward, Bunny Penny is a definite better option than Mascot Daryl. Despite this, it's free, so it's not nearly as cool. Viking Bull is whatever. He's just blonde bull. Boombox Brock. Brock gets a lot more vibrant with the skin, and his rocket launcher turns into a boombox. He gets nothing else though, and it's kinda lame. Vicious BB is a hated skin for a pretty good reason. She gets an ugly model and no effect changes, but I like BB, so she's a bit better. Choco Piper. Out of all of the BT21 skins, this is the weakest. Piper gets a new dress, but that's essentially it. It's just an upgraded version of Pink Piper that forces you to spend gems. Dark Bunny Penny is definitely an improvement to Bunny Penny. The dark to her is cool and menacing, but it's still just Bunny Penny. Calavera Piper. People love this skin, but I just don't see it. She gets a cool texture, yeah, but that's all. Red Dragon Jessie was added in celebration of the Chinese release of Brawl Stars. That's kind of neat, but the skin itself has a lot to be desired. At least Scrappy gets a new color and texture. Sally Leon. Literally nothing changes. No new animation, he just looks a bit different. His attack gets a cool effect though. Archvillain B. This skin makes B monochrome and her B's turn into this really off-putting blue, black, and white. Something about this really freaks me out and I don't like it. DIY Surge. Surge turns into a DIY model. That's kinda cool. He gets a slight attack effect change, but it's barely noticeable. Wicked Stew is really underwhelming. His base attacks barely get any change to them, and his super trail stays exactly the same. Lil Helper Penny. I personally do not like this skin since the effects aren't the greatest, but it is an exclusive Christmas skin, so it's kind of okay. First Blob Squeak. It's not my first choice for Squeak skins. The changes to his attacks are subtle and go unnoticed a lot of the time. His model looks kinda cool in game though. Marshall Ruffs. This gives Ruff's attack little sheriff badges, which feel way cooler than his base lasers. Still, his model is pretty crap. El Atomico seems like a really awesome skin, and it kind of is, but the only thing that's going for him is the little atomic effect around him. Otherwise, he's super basic and just primo. Poco Star is the lamest Poco skin, but despite this, he gets a neat attack effect. Pirate Poco. This is the only Poco skin without strings on his guitar. Other than that, mid skin. B800. This skin is not bad. It's got a super cool theme around it, but like others, it feels way too similar to the base model since, well, half of it literally is just base model bull. Handsome Cold is anything but handsome. I like how unique the skin is, but other than his model being cool, he has nothing going on for him. Sorry, bro. Barbarian King Bull. This skin is here purely because of the Clash of Clans reference. Gunslinger Colt might have custom effects, but he feels way too basic to be a really cool Colt skin. Brawloween Rosa. This is just a classic skin. She becomes Sand Undertale with her super, so can you really complain? Smooth Lou gets some pretty interesting animations, but I feel they don't stand out enough from base Lou. Super Ranger Brock. Probably one of Brock's ugliest skins. This just does not look good. If you like Power Rangers, then sure. Balloon Sally has a really good design itself, but what makes this skin so bad for me is the animations in game. They feel so clunky and weird. Now this is where things get kind of blurry. A lot of super rare skins are equally good, so take this order with a grain of salt. All of these are really solid skins. White Crow is literally just Crow but white. It's nothing special, but it's not too bad. Ho 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 Bo really fits Bo. He becomes Santa Claus, shooting something and dropping presents with his super. It's pretty solid, but he has better skins. El Corazon gets some pretty cool effects. When punching enemies, a heart appears, and jumping is fun. It's pretty solid. Summer Jessie is cute or whatever, but she gets some really neat water effects with her attack and super. Pirate Jean shoots a hook with his super, which is pretty cool. His main attack is also okay for a 79 gem skin. Gift Express Jackie has cool effects. That's pretty much it. Shark Leon is pretty basic. He throws a water spinner blade and he drops fish when he supers. The water attacks aren't always the best looking, but it's fine if you like Leon. Galaxy Storm Lola is super underrated. Excusing the weird alien Toji's worm looking thing, her attack feels very clean. Definitely one of my favorites, but not enough to go anywhere higher on the list. High Score Griff. Despite a really questionable model, you can't lie, he has some killer effects. Swamp Gene is such a swampy little guy, you cannot go wrong with him. Bellhop Mike. I'm not the biggest fan of this Dynamite skin, but he throws out all sorts of suitcases, which are kinda neat. El Mayordomo. This skin doesn't give Primo any super cool effects, but I like how he has a mustache and stuff. Ivy Bell. Bell. Ivy Bell has a super neat design and animation, but in game she's incredibly lackluster. The vines that bounce between enemies is cool, but that's the extent of it. You can barely notice it. Streetwear Max. I don't know why y'all like the skin so much. Max gets a hoodie. Big whoop. She's so mid, but I do like the casualness of it. Navigator Colette has a really neat design, but that's where it ends. Princess Shelly. I really like the skin. Her attacks are smooth and I like Ghost Squeak. You cannot go wrong with Ghost Squeak. That's all. You just can't go wrong. It's pretty cool. Sugar Rush Sandy has some awesome brawler references on him, but his main selling point, the super, doesn't have a lot going on, which is kind of unfortunate. Sharktooth Colt gets some pretty cool paint effects, but I just don't see myself maining Colt with this skin too much. Neko B. This skin doesn't add too much, but she becomes a cat. And cats are awesome. Santa Mike is probably my favorite Dynamite skin of all time. He throws these explosive candy canes and a giant sack of explosives as a super. It's also limited! So it's pretty sweet. Snowman Tick throws snowy things and he has some pretty cool effects. Fangirl Coney. I honestly prefer any other Colette skin, but this just isn't too bad. King Crab Tick is pretty cool. He's the only frowning Tick skin and gets some decent attack and super effects. Leopard Max and Panther Max are nice. It gives Max some pretty decent shots and a killer super animation. Burger Lou. You know, Burger Lou could be higher up on the list, but the problem with this little bozo is that the cheese is on the bottom of the burger, when it should be on top. It's not realistic and goes against all common practices in burger constructing. Sakura Spike makes Spike pink and shoot flowers, and I think that's amazing. You're perfect how you are. I like how Grom rides the egg. It's a goofy skin for a goofy guy. Octofang is the cheapest Fang skin, and for how popular he is, he's pretty solid. I especially like the trail he gets when he supers. Bell Nani. This skin gets some pretty sick effects. After each attack, there's a trail of confetti that falls. Same with the super. The only thing that's setting the skin back though is the model. The bell is kinda weird. Whale Watch Nita has some killer attack effects, and Bruce's spawn animation is really clean. Firefly Rico really makes him look badass. I really like the little fireflies flying around his insides, and I don't know, this is just such a cool skin. Gummy Bear Nita is solid. She gets a good attack animation, and as well as this, her and Bruce change color after every use. That's really neat. V8-bit. This may be a bit controversial, but I absolutely love this skin. He gets a super strong looking attack and a super cool super area. Like, bro is literally a gas pump. This is so cool! Detective Gray Nor Edition. Only us OGs remember when this was a rare skin. It's definitely not as good as Detective Gray, but it's chill. Detective Gray. This makes Gray really come together. I love the magnifying glass for his teleporter, and his shots feel a lot better to shoot. BB Lante has a pretty lackluster design, but her attack animation is one of my favorites. It's powerful, yet simple. I really like Maple Barley's attack textures and puddles. I don't know, it just feels super satisfying to attack. Corrupted Sprout is my favorite Sprout skin. He gets a super dope idle animation, and his Sprout balls are so powerful. Scorpion Willow's attack carries this skin. When it lands, a scorpion tail comes up from the ground. This is like the kill animation before the kill animation. Beetle Meg. I really like this skin. For only 2,750 bling, you get a serious improvement to her model and attack. Her shots feel powerful and strong. I love it. Moon Bunny Squeak. This makes Squeak look and feel so cute and squishy. That's all. I like him. Leonard Carl. No, not Leonard from the Angry Birds movie, silly. Carl becomes this goofy little frog, and despite not having a cool super, I find the little emotes endearing when he attacks. Surge Kong. Do I even need to explain? Trick or Treat Leon. Cool skin. Popstar Janet. Sorry, Janet Sims, 21 is the best I can go. Her attack animation is whatever, but her bombs dropping is super sick. I also love her idle animation. Pyro Spike is really solid. He gets a little hazmat suit, and his shots get a flaming effect. I would eat this skin. Street Ninja Tara. This Tara skin gets a really neat design, though everything else is kinda whatever. Captain Crow. Crow really doesn't have any bad skins, and Captain Crow is no exception. His daggers get this really awesome look to them. Unicorn Knight Barley does the fucking nene or whatever, but what I love is the puddles. They have this really neat gradient from blue to purple, which looks super mesmerizing. Logmas Spike becomes a festive log. He gets some decent attacks, but his super is where it's at. Awesome skin for an awesome brawler. Mr. Fly, Count Pangula, and Daruma Mr. P. I think all three of these skins are pretty equal. They all change the porters and have really nice effects. You just cannot go wrong with these skins for Mr. P. Emerald and Ruby Prince Sprout get really awesome effects. His main attack is a little bouncy sword and his walls are castles. Honestly, such a cool skin for a cool little guy. Okay, now we're moving on to the top 10 super rare skins in my opinion. At number 10, we have Quick Draw Edgar. He's really sick looking. This is a huge improvement from his base model and makes him feel that much more powerful. Stonks Pam is literally stonks. Flex your riches with the thickest. Harajuku M's. This may have the cringiest stance, but I love her attack and super. super. Definitely one of the best on this list. Krampus Ash is really creative. He's like this mystery box of gifts and is really festive. Dark Clown Sam has one of the coolest idle animations in the game. He's so freaky and I like it. Most of all, I think when his super lands, the bear trap looking thing looks incredibly cool. Hermes Max could have been an epic skin, but it's not. She gets some super cool attacks and I love the wings behind her when she runs. Zombie Bee is incredible for a super rare. Not only does she get a sick attack animation, but she also gets a spooky little ghost dude as her bubble. This could easily be an epic skin. D4RRY1, not only does he get a fire model, but his attacks feel super impactful and powerful. At number 2, we have Wood Spirit Chester. He is so wacky. He gets a really neat idle animation, but along with this, he gets a custom animation for every super in his arsenal. Definitely incredible value for the cost, and it looks super awesome while it's at it. And finally, in my honest opinion, the best super rare skin is Dumpling Daryl. Not only is it exclusive, but he shoots soy sauce and is dressed like a dumpling. That's awesome. Now to the epics. Classic Dynamite. Definitely my least favorite epic skin. This doesn't change anything about him except his motto, and since it's Dynamite, he has plenty of other skins which are far better. Rockabilly Mortis. Literally nothing changes about him except his design, which is kind of mid. Night Witch Mortis. He's ugly, but does get some slight effects which are kind of neat. Biker Carl. Overall, this is a pretty underwhelming skin. His motto is honestly pretty ugly, and his effects are not anything to write home about. Bananas Colt. I bought this skin a few months back and I regret it. It's not super interesting in game or out of game. Popcorn Rico. This is actually a pretty solid skin. It's a nice touch that he shoots kernels that later pop into actual popcorn. Holiday Party Frank. Frank attacks with a big tree and wears a lampshade on his head. It's a fun concept, but it's not my favorite. Belle Goldhand. I feel like the skin barely does much to Belle. It feels like a slightly improved version of her instead. Spiky Eve. Same deal with Spiky Eve, it's just a bit too similar. El Rey Primo. Primo becomes royal, which is cool, but it feels more fitting for a 79 gem skin instead. King Lou. I will stand by hating King Lou. He does not feel strong and his effects are kind of mid at best. Ferocious Fang. This is the recolor of Furious Fang and I don't think the colors are nice. It's a definite downgrade from the original model. Captain Carl and Dark-Tide Carl. They're whatever, they don't change too much and they're just kind of underwhelming. Hero Paulette. Out of all 3 Paulettes, Hero is my least favorite and I'll probably never use this in my life. Bake Sale Barley. Barley now attacks with pies and he looks like a woman, which is kind of cool. Dark Fairy Janet. This is a neat skin with some good effects. It has a really cool concept, but it just does not fit with Janet in the slightest. Chainsaw Buster. I like the Denji reference, but it's a really boring skin and just he has better ones. Lion Bull. Bull is a lion. Caesar Sam. Sam gets a toga and stuff, but nothing about the skin really stands out too much. His attack is kind of lackluster, and so is his super. Cheerleader Rosa. This isn't too bad of a skin, but she looks really strange. I don't know what it is about her. I just don't like it. Hot Rod Brock gives Brock a really nice design, but his rockets are not anything special. L Baby Shark. This is a fire skin. Cool effects, a fun animation, but it's Baby Shark, man. Come on. DJ Ems. I personally don't like DJ Ems' model, but her attack and super are pretty cool. Slayer Griff. This is a super weird design for Griff. It just doesn't match his boxy shape. Cupid Piper. Really solid Piper skin. The Valentine's theme fits with her well, and her attack and super look really good. Midori Paulette. This is the better Paulette. I like her colors, and she's just kind of neat looking. I like the blues and the other colors. I forget what colors there are. Baseball Fang and the other Baseball Fang. I don't know what they're called. I don't like baseball, so this isn't really my favorite, but I can see how someone who does play baseball might find this pretty good. Coach Mike and PSG Mike are not my favorite skins, I'll be completely honest here, but they're not bad by any means. They throw soccer balls, and I like balls. Lavish Lola. I think this is a pretty solid recolor of Rebel Lola. Not much else to say here. Ronin Ruffs has some nice effects, but it's kind of whatever. It's kind of the same with Ninja Ash, who is just a little ninja box. It's kind of cool. Wasp Bo. Bo becomes a wasp and shoots stingers. Along with this, he throws little wasp nests with his super. I guess it also has honey or something too. I didn't think wasps make honey. Let me know what that is in the comments. Trash Poco. This skin is not trash, despite the name. Gold Neko Bee. I really like Neko Bee, but Gold Neko Bee is that, but better. It's also like Golden Barley and how it's a fake true gold skin, which is kind of nice. Hockey Mortis. Pretty solid Mortis skin. I like how it's hockey themed, because I'm Canadian. Smuggler Penny. This was the first Power League skin, so that has some interesting bits in it. It's a bit odd, but it's cool nonetheless. Lawless Lola. Not my favorite Lola skin, but it looks pretty alright. I think the darker colors are nice, but they're not the best. Haunted House 8-Bit. This skin has some really cool effects, but the thing that holds it back is how it looks nothing like 8-Bit. Bro is literally a house. Spicy Mike. Spicy Mike throws little peppers and a big pot of something for a super. Rage Quit Tara. I think this is an okay skin. There's nothing really crazy about it, but I think it's it's alright. Alley Cat Bull. This is a really solid bull skin. He turns into this mob boss with a cat and a really solid super animation. Or should I say a PNG? It still looks kinda cool. Jungle Queen Maisie. Definitely not my favorite Maisie skin, but it does feel good to use with her. Squeakbuster Gale. This is the only skin that references another brawler in their name. I think it's pretty solid. It's definitely a fun skin to use. Buzzette is a very fun skin. I like the pastel colors, the shades, everything, but I do see how people may not like it. Serenade Poco. He's so handsome. Dragon Knight Jesse and Shadow Knight Jesse. Out of all the Jesse skins, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. I greatly prefer something like Summer Jesse, but even then, these are not bad. Swaymaster Barley. I love his animations and he's kinda cool, just a little bit basic. Baiku Eve. The Akira reference goes hard, man. Nutcracker Gale gets some really sick effects. They're sparkly and I prefer this over some stupid snow like most winter skins get. Jackie Kooky, Edgar Tata, Bull Mang, Tick, Shuki, BBRJ, L Brown, and Ruff's Chimmy. I put these all together since I think they're about on the same level. There are some which I think are far better, but we'll see them later. El Tigro gets some really sick effects from his super and attack, which are all pixely and stuff. It's pretty solid. Guard Rico. He's good. Shibanita. She's nice. Sports Dude Spike. It's alright. CCTV Poco. This skin used to be really good before the remodel, but despite that, it's still pretty solid. Coral Bell is underrated. Her model is nice and her shots are beautiful. Rebel Lola actually used to be called Chola, but was changed because it was offensive, but it's a whatever skin. She has better. Spore Mine Cordelius is really fire. I like his little attacks, but they're not my favorites. Frankengrom. This skin was good before the texture change. Mega Box Daryl and Omega Box Daryl. These were given for free before the box removal update, and they're really nice. They have some neat effects as well. Jet Ski Jackie has some cool effects. El Dragon Rosado and Verado.
Excuse me, did I just say Verado? I don't know where that came from. It's Verdoso, not Verado, not Verado.
Their attacks feel like really watery for some reason, but I think that's really cool. They kind of linger a bit, and I like that. Posto Bra. This skin did not fit with their season at all, despite it being a Power League season, but I find that kind of neat, and I like this skin a lot. It gives them a lot of personality. Superfan M's. This is kind of like that one Sandy skin, but not as good. I do really like the balloons around her in her super, though. Major Rosa gets a super cool shield. Royal Agent Colt is okay. It's kind of just like base Colt, but it's a lot just cooler. Pharaohs is also okay. I like the Pharaoh, but he's just a Pharaoh. Who cares? Corsair Colt is okay. Magma Mandy. This skin is alright. I don't really care for it too much since it's just doesn't really fit Mandy that well. Flag Bearer Piper has nice feet. I don't like feet though, so it might go down just a few spots. Okay, next one. Sandy Koya will be grouped up with the others, but I absolutely love his attack and super. Dancer Shelly and the other two Dancer Shellys, or whatever they're called. The dark smoke that comes out of her attack is awesome looking, and they're pretty solid. Ultra Driller Jackie. This is a nice skin and a classic 149 gem skin with nice effects, but her super is super boring. Misfortune Tara's attack is beautiful, and is overall just a very solid skin, but I'm not the biggest fan of their designs. Same with Tempest Tara. Tanuki Jessie is really cute. I especially like the sound effect with her attack, and each bullet feels truly strong. Chicken Rico is a chicken, and I like chicken nuggets. Gladiator Colette. Honestly, pretty solid skin. I like how she runs when supering as well. Lantern Sandy. His super carries so hard in this skin, but it's alright. Monster Truck Meg. Her mecha gets some really awesome effects with his big swingy super and his little shots, but what I really like about the skin is the tire treads after he moves. Valkyrie Janet. One of Janet's best skins. This makes her feel so strong and like a powerful woman. Cobra Lola. This skin gives Lola a snake and changes her entire palette. I can see why people might not like this skin, but I find it pretty cool. Grouch Miko. Miko becomes the Grinch with a nice super landing effect. Pinku Paulette. I like anime girl. Rosie Charlie changes Charlie's spider egg thing into a rose, and she gets this poison ivy looking outfit. It's pretty solid. Cupcake Daryl. It's pleasing and has some pretty sick effects. Red Nose Nita. This was the first 149 gem skin and gives Nita some neat attack effects and a festive Bruce. Marauder Maisie. I like the skin, but I feel like it's not exactly worth 5,000 bling or 149 gems. I much prefer seeing this as a 79 gem skin, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Empress Bonnie. This is peak Bonnie skins. This completely changes her design and makes her like the complete opposite of what her character already is. Loaded Rico. What can I say? He's loaded. Mantis Rosa. I really like the shield she gets. It's so cool looking. Amber de la Vega. Incredibly underrated Amber skin and completely outclassed by Frost Queen Amber, but this skin still stands tall. Her shots get a really nice slash effect to them, and I just love it. Sally Nani. Sally Nani is such a good skin. She looks super adorable and the peep is so cute as well. Born Bad Buzz. Buzz is a part of the Bad Randoms band, and this skin excels at portraying that. He's just so cool. Pizza Oven Ash. Pizza is nice. Furious Fang. This is a really solid Fang skin. He gets these incredibly nice colors, and this just feels like it could be the base Fang skin. Crimson RT. This skin turns RT into a little blob of evil, which not only looks cool, but fits with RT's design super well. Horus Bow. Bow becomes this angel looking thing, which is really fire, and is like the complete opposite of Underworld Bow. Yeti Sam. Sam gets awesome cold effects, and yeah, it's nice. All of the Kit boxers go here, and they're pretty dang cool. They really enhance the assassin aspect of Kit's design. Dr. Edgar. You just can't go wrong with Dr. Edgar. It's pretty good. Nerd Squeak. So much nerd, so little time. Mega Beetle B. B gets a really neat attack shot, which are bright and powerful. Trash Panda Penny. This might be a controversial opinion, but I think this skin is so fire. I love how her mortar turns into a trash can with a raccoon, and her base design is super nice. Dynasty Mike. Some of the better Dynamite effects come out of this little guy. They feel really clean to use and don't disappoint at all. Kabocha Fang. Sick Fang, cool Fang. Cat Burglar Jessie. I like cats, and I really like the sound effects she gets when he shoots attacks. Sunken Chest Griff. Even though his teeth are positioned in a way where his lid cannot close, I think this makes Griff really cool and is super creative. Periscope Pearl. Pearl gets remade into this green thing. She shoots bubbles and gets a really nice super effect. Mecha Paladin Surge. It's a good skin for a good season. He feels really clean and gets some pretty solid effects to boot. Neon Nita. This is a pretty solid skin. Nita skins almost never miss, and this is no exception. Crocodile Buster. Now this is a skin of all time. Buster gets a really nice theme, and his net becomes a crocodile catching thingy. It really revamps him in an awesome way. Raider Cordelius. Definitely better than any other Cordelius skin, except for one other coming up. Underworld Bow. This is a really cool bow skin, but it feels kind of basic all around. It's not my personal favorite, but it's up there. Coco Rosa. It was pretty hard ranking the Rosa skins. All of them are pretty solid, but I think Coco Rosa barely beats them all out. Her attack becomes coconuts, and she becomes a coconut in her super. I love coconut. W Otis. Pretty cool skin with a cool little dance. Hanbok Mandy. I put this skin here mainly because I'm Korean, and a hanbok is a form of traditional Korean clothing. It's pretty awesome. World Championship Gus. One of Gus's best skins, Gus gets a sick color combination and feels super fun to use, especially to flex. Inspector Colette. I love the animation for her, and she becomes this ghost train navigator. It's really cool, but not as cool of a concept as another Colette skin on this list. Stone Troll Lou. This is a pretty badass Lou skin. Lou becomes this stone troll, and that's cool. Sultan Carl. Pretty solid Carl skin. His attacks get this sandy effect to them. Kraken Surge is really awesome. He shoots little squiddy kraken things. I love his tentacles. Crash Test Daryl is really neat. He's unique, and he's interesting, and he's a tire. What more could you want? Wizard Byron is a really cool Byron skin. I think it checks all of the boxes of what an epic skin should be, and it does it pretty well. Jaguar Spirit Meg has a goofy little dance and makes Meg feel super powerful. Santa Stew normally wouldn't be this high for me since I don't really like the Santa skins too much, but I really love the snowy trail he gets after supering in place of fire. It's so clean. Dark Lord Spike still stands today as a really good skin. Best of all, it gives Spike a voice. Lunar Sprout. Its design is based off the moon rabbit from Asian mythology, hence the rabbit ears. It gives Sprout amazing cheese. Moon Rocks for his attack and super. Lunar Piper. Her design is also based off the Moon Rabbit, which you can really see in the skin. She's so classy and it looks beautiful. Director Buzz. I love how old Power League skins were these like super random things. Director Buzz is such a vibe and actually matches with his personality pretty well. Coney Max. My second favorite BT21 skin, Coney Max stays true to the original Max, which I feel is a nice touch. It's super bubbly and fun. Werewolf Leon. Leon becomes even more of a furry than he already was. He shoots little bones and walks like a furry would. Not that I would know. Cursed Pirate BB gets a sweet effect after swinging her bat, which lingers after a second in a super bubble that's like this trapped soul. I love BB, and the skin as well, and the skin. Desperado Poco makes Poco feel so awesome. He gets a massive no cloud as his attack and super, which just feels so nice to play. I love this little goober. Space Ox Bull. This was the first skin to have a changed voice line, which is kinda neat. His model is also big and powerful. Final Boss Rico gives 1930s animation, and it definitely excels at conveying that. Rocket Brown. Usually I'm not a huge fan of these BT21 skins, but Rocket Brown makes Brock feel so good. His shots are super large and strong, and they just feel super fun to play with. Evil Gene. This makes Gene feel like a little monster, which is super fitting for him. Every shot, even down to the split shots, are nicely made. Surgini. Obviously inspired by Aladdin, this gives Surge nice puffs of smoke after each attack and super, along with such a mystical vibe. Definitely worth every single gem. Challenger Colt. I like how you could only buy this skin for money, and you can never buy it again that one time. Dark Angel Angel Cult. This skin was given to everyone for free for Brawl Days 2023, and holy crap, is this skin fire. Amazing animations and super sick shots. Witch Shelly turns Shelly into a witch. It's pretty self-explanatory. Her shots feel really powerful and match with her overall vibe incredibly well. Headless Rider Stu. This is a super above average Stu skin. He gets a menacing design with really neat effects. Pinata Ash. Ash gets the goofiest skins and it's incredible. Bro literally becomes a pinata. I want to hit on him, hit him, hit him, not Rogue Mortis. Rogue Mortis is actually so cool. He gets custom voice lines, cool effects with his attack, and his super is a sandstorm thing. It's pretty awesome. Overlord Byron is so sick. He shoots little orbs of his concoction and his super becomes a big bottle of said concoction. It's really clean. Orochi Edgar. Edgar just feels so strong in this skin. I feel like I could defeat the Nine-Tails Fox with this. Surfer Carl. Carl's best skin by far and is super great for a Brawl Pass skin. His attack gets completely reworked and his super matches super well. I love this. Mariposa Piper. Piper has a ton of great skins, but Mariposa stands out to me for her classy design and incredible animations in game. Tengu Mike doesn't have my favorite brawler model, but his attacks are what sell the skin for me. The eyeball after his super is super menacing, and the little flares of fire after each attack is incredible. Lion Dance Brock. This skin is super exclusive, and if you watched my super rare ranking, you would know that Dumpling Darrow was my number 1. And to match, Lion Dance Brock is number 15. It's pretty good. Kitsune Lola. Lola gets a beautiful design with her and her fox, which look incredible in game. Just like the other Ayakashi clan skins, their attack shots are amazing. Fenrir Buzz and his variants make Buzz into a wolf from Norse mythology. He gets a really cool backstory and an even cooler model. Trixie Colette. This is a fan favorite skin for a good reason. Colette becomes a demon, and I like demons. That's cool. Heroin BB may not be a top tier skin for some of you, but this is my tier list, so I can do what I want. I love her design. Her bubble and her attack are super clean. Definitely top BB of all time. Odin Cordelius. This is such a sick looking skin. Cordelius' shots are well made and his idle animation is so menacing. Merchant Gale. This definitely is not the best looking skin, even though I think it's kinda cool, but I really love this skin due to the introduction of the first Brawl Pass. It's like a trophy, a marker in time for such a pivotal moment in Brawl Stars' history. Spirit Knight Frank. Such a cool skin with really neat effects. They really blew it out of the park with this one. Loki Chester. Chester's skins are always good. His animations just look so clean in this, and it's super well made, and of course, you get 5 supers in one. Oni Otis. Out of all of the Ayakashi clan skins, Oni Otis' attack is the best. It feels so strong and it's so creative looking. I love it. Crowbone. This is the classic S tier skin. You can never go wrong with Crowbone. I love how his daggers turn into a dark blue and his model is just so cool. Saloon 8-Bits. Not only does the skin have incredible voice lines, but the entire premise and execution is great. You gotta love Saloon 8-Bits. And finally, at number 1, I think you can all guess what it is. It's Frost Queen Amber, and she is definitely deserving of the number 1 spot. This is the only skin which gets a kill animation which is exclusive to legendaries. On top of this, her effects stand out so much and feel amazing to use. On to the Mythics. Poop Spike. This Spike is S tier. Oh my gosh, go back to kindergarten. Stupid little... This skin is just gross. I feel really disgusting just looking at this skin. I do like the little smelly nuggets though, that's a fun little touch. Moldy Mike. Out of all the mythic skins, I feel this one severely lacks any sort of substance that the others have. It's got some cool fart cloud effects, but I just don't feel super drawn towards this one. Supreme Bow. This skin is barely worse than the Brother Bow because of its colors. And speaking of, is Brother Bow, which I think have nice looking effects. They're kind of like fireworks and stuff. That's cool, but it just feels kind of off. It feels like there's something missing in the landing shot specifically. Hoot Hoot Shelly. I think it's a cool skin, but not exactly deserving of the mythic spot. It's essentially just a rehash of previous epic skins, but just slightly better, and that's the same for White Wolf Leon as well. They're not bad by any means, but I think there are better. Dasis Grom. I'm not the biggest fan of this skin, and I'm assuming it's partially because I don't quite understand the cultural significance of it, but I think it's cool for its intended audience. It's just not for me. Megalodon. I don't think there's much to this skin. It's got some really neat effects. It's super solid all around, but it's not my favorite, and it's not that memorable either. Scotty Jesse. This skin is super chill, don't get me wrong, but I feel it just needs a little bit more effects, a little bit more frosty stuff to make it really good. Lunar Janet. She gets some really sick effects, but it feels a little out of place, especially the bombs, which feel extremely underwhelming compared to a really cool attack. L Quarterback. I don't like football, but I like the skin. The little field that appears after a super is really creative.
My audio cut out, But quarterback, I don't like football, but it looks really cool. Vanilla Frank, it's a cool Frank skin, but it's a cool Frank skin. And we have Ringmaster Byron. Byron gets fully revamped, looking like an evil daddy man. I can take it from here.
Fully revamped, looking like an evil daddy man. I think it's sick, but a little bit odd. Thief Edgar. Edgar's scarf feels incredibly powerful with this skin. His pierce lingers for a second, and I don't know, it's just a really cool skin. Zeus Brock. It's a hard-fought battle for 3rd and 4th place here, but Zeus Brock turns Brock into, well, Zeus. It's wonderfully designed and the effects are super nice. Cerebus Tick. I put this above Zeus Brock because I feel it's just a bit flashier than him. It's just my personal opinion, I just like the skin a little bit better. I feel you got more bang for your buck with this one despite it being Tick, and we all hate Tick here, right? Ares Nani. It's a super cool Nani skin. It's got great effects and killer animations. I love Ares Nani. Nani skins never miss. And finally, for number 1, the best mythic skin is Rodeo Hank, the best skin in Brawl Stars. I love Hank. And finally, the legendaries. Robo Mike. I think the skin is super ugly. I'm gonna say it there. I think the kill animations are kind of lackluster, and I'm just not a big fan. I think Dynamite has way better skins out there, and Robo Mike just isn't it for 300 gems. Mecha Bow, or as I like to call it, Orange Mecha Bow. I don't think I have ever seen someone rock Orange Mecha Bow, probably for a good reason. I think the skin is ugly and no one can say otherwise. Evil Queen Pam. I think she's fun, she's big, she's thick, but the kill animation is the worst on this list. But I'm not putting it last because I think it is a really nice effect, but it gets outclassed by all the other skins above it. Wukong Miko. If you know Mandarin, this is probably a really cool skin to you. I really like how they changed the voice lines into Mandarin, like half of them are in a completely different language from English, what we're speaking right now, but I don't know, it's just really cool. Apart from some decent super animations, the attack animation itself is not that good, and I'm just not the biggest fan. All 3 of the Mecha Colts come next, and Colt has way too many skins. He did not need a mecha variant. I think it's very underwhelming for 300 gems, and it just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan. Light Mecha Bow. Now, I'm not grouping all of the Mecha Bows up together because I think some of them are just a little bit better than others, but they're about the same. Like Mecha Edgar 00 and 01. These are so ugly, bro. They're still Mecha Edgar, so it's pretty okay, but nah, this ain't it. All 3 of the Mecha Leons. This is definitely better than Mecha Colt or Mecha Bow, but I think it's a bit underwhelming and doesn't stand out from any other mecha too much. Gold Mecha Bow. This is the best Mecha Bow skin, though I'm not a big fan of Mecha Bow in the first place. I think this and Mecha Leon can kind of switch places if they need. Mecha Crow, Gold Mecha Crow, and Night Mecha Crow. I personally think the blue is beautiful for him, and the others are pretty alright. He gets some nice animations and stuff, but I personally think that another Crow skin far outclasses this one later on the list. Antivirus 8-bit. His recolor doesn't change much of anything and doesn't expand or change him in a meaningful way. In the wise words of Blizz, he says, a recolor is to either improve the original or change it up in some way so you don't make fun of someone because they couldn't have had the original. And I stand by this philosophy. At least for this skin, I probably won't follow it for any other. Thor BB. I can't put my girl BB any lower. She's an alright skin. Her attacks feel powerful, but her super is extremely lackluster and just feels a bit odd to me. I think this will be much better as a mythic skin rather than a legendary. Scorpion Chuck. Despite not having the correct number of legs as a scorpion, at least I saw that on Twitter, I don't know if that's true, Scorpion Chuck is so sick. I think his overall design is clean, but I hate how his posts don't get changed. They could have done so much more with that, but otherwise, he's pretty alright. Tuss Nita. I'm a fan of the skin, but not too big of a fan. I think it's beautifully designed and it looks incredible, but Nita has so many good skins already with incredible animations. It would feel like a waste for me to buy this one specifically. Jock Stew. I think Jock Stew has one of the better kill animations in the game. I'm not the biggest fan of his design since it doesn't resemble Stew too well, which I feel is important in the skin, but looking past that, it's a very solid design. Dark Mecha Mortis and Light Mecha Mortis. These are the inferior Mecha Mortises, but we'll look at the true Mecha Mortis later. I wouldn't say these are bad, just slightly outclassed. Mecha Edgar. Pretty good mecha skin in my opinion. I love his jump animation especially. Not much to say about him, but you cannot go wrong with Edgar skins. Except that one blue one. Virus 8-bit. Some people say this skin is overrated, some say it's okay, I say it's alright. Despite having a really cool attack shot and animation, his super is incredibly lackluster. Mecha Mortis. This skin is usually paired with a really bad player or a really good one. There's never an in-between. Despite that, I think Mecha Mortis is the best of the mechas. He has a nice design, cool sound effects, and is overall just super pleasing to play. Phoenix Crow. This has always been an S-tier Crow skin and always will be. Crow rises from the ashes and bursts into a beautiful beautiful aren't just yellow. It may not be the flashiest skin, but I think it's stunning. And finally, the best legendary skin in my opinion is Toon's Spike. I think it's a super creative skin. He gets an entirely different style of animation, some fun custom sound effects, and the Bloons Tower Defense 6 pop effect.